Hello.
Hey, Kadra.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
Sure.
Just my background. There you go. I haven't been upstairs in the office for a few weeks because I had all the visitors from we all stayed in this room, so
You have to, it's not an
bring it
office
back
anymore.
together.
You have to bring it back to an office.
Right. All right. Here we go. Ross is joining us now. Let's see. And there's Mark. Good.
Good morning.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Morning.
Good.
Mark joining in.
Hey guys,
Hello.
can you hear me? Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. All right, just as a an advisory, my power is out again.
Oh man,
I'm running on your laptop and a hotspot on my phone. So if anything else goes wrong today, we might have to postpone this, but I can't believe this. We got 80-mile-an-hour winds and all of a sudden the power went out again this morning. So
Yeah, I was gonna say the connection is a little not like usual, so it makes sense.
yeah,
Is it bad? I mean, is it?
It's
fuzzy?
not. It's a bit glitchy here and there, but it's doable as of right now.
yeah, it works.
All right. Well, we're gonna try it. So,
Mark,
like I
the
said,
wind,
we're
the wind blew your beard off.
yes, it did. Yeah.
That looks good. Yeah, it looks you look sharp.
Yeah. I decided we were coming to a new year with a different look. So there we go.
Yeah, I
All
like
right.
it.
Let's see if you guys can see my screen, and if you can, then we will do this. All right. So. Yeah, this is really frustrating to keep losing power because the heat goes off with that too.
Oof.
So it's really cold today. It's like
Ooh.
25
That's
degrees.
rough. That's rough.
Gaining clarity. No, personal branding. Okay. All right. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not too blurry or anything.
No, looks great.
All right, so let's go. Today's session is about the networking brief. This is where we're going to start to get tangible with some of the stuff we've been doing so far. Also help to craft and shape your ideas a little bit more. So it's not just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I want to do yet. So I'm not ready for this. Some of these exercises will actually help you to do that as well. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. So what it is, and Ross, I talked to you about this yesterday. I already sent you the docs on this yesterday, and the rest of the guys, these should be in your email. I have some templates and samples of what this is. And it's a one pager, and one pagers are big in the corporate world because people don't have time to read a lot of stuff. And even with your networking contacts, they're not going to sit there and read pages and pages of resumes and so forth. So we want to be really succinct and have a document that solicits leads, opportunities, referrals from other people in your network that helps them to understand your professional value and what you're looking for. And since everybody knows a lot of people, even your hairdresser or gardener or whatever else, you want to have a way to tap into their database in their mind and gets the information that might help you find your next position. And so basically what we do is going to give them a definitive set of criteria that they can say, oh yeah, I know somebody, or have you thought about this, or I heard about this. Because if you don't say these things, you're not going to get that information. So it's kind of like a search engine. Can you hear that banging out there?
A little bit.
There's something like in the house next door that's just like clanging away. I don't know where the wind's going. So I apologize. All right. So why create one? So basically, you're very clear about what you want in your career and your direction that you take. It'll also give you a list of positions and companies and industries that you'd like to work for. And it'll help start getting you into the systems and the people that are in those areas. when to use it. So this is not a resume, is not meant to be a substitute, and I would not share it with anybody into your target companies. And the reason for that is because it casts a wide net. And if you give it to somebody, they say, wow, you really don't know what you want, right? And you don't want that to happen with your target companies. So the resume is much more tailored and specific. This is just to get people thinking in different ways about how they might be able to help you. So you want to kind of restrict this to the folks that are in your network that there's not a direct job behind talking to them, right? So it's basically, if I'm talking to them, I'm trying to get their ideas for referrals, leads, and stuff like that. And there's not like, oh, can you help me get this particular job? Because you don't want to come across as a generalist. You want to say, hey, I can help you with these problems, and you'll be much more interesting to companies. But again, for the networking part of it, it's good to kind of have a wider perspective so that people can help you with more things. So you use it during semi-formal and formal one-on-one conversations with your network contacts who are not company recruiters or hiring managers. And yes, you can email it to people as long as you get it introduced. So that's what we're going to talk about next. So the reason you want to introduce this is because it is a newer tool in the job search market. So you want to explain to people what it is so they can understand it and say, oh, this is a really weird looking resume. One of the things you can dispel that belief away is to create a landscape version instead of just a portrait version. If it's landscape, everybody knows that's not a resume. You can actually write across the top networking brief so they know it's not a resume. You want to make it clear to your contacts that you don't expect them to help you find a job, but you're sharing the information to get their feedback and to get ideas on how what they might know or who they might know that could help you identify, target industries, companies, and people, and make those introductions or just get ideas from them. So, how to use it? You could just say, hey, can I send you a networking brief? To which you will probably get the response, what's a networking brief? And you say, well, it's a one-page overview of my value proposition, what I'm targeting next in my career. Or you could just tell them, hey, I'd like to send you my networking brief, which is a one-page document that summarizes my value proposition as well as the types of opportunities that I'm looking for. So again, you're explaining to them what it is so they have the context for knowing what they're receiving and not saying, what is this? What is this a funky resume, or what does he want here? So give it to friends, colleagues, independent recruiters, i.e. recruiters that are not working for a specific company, and other contacts that you might come across who you want to just network with and get some of their information and who they might know. And you might say something like this. So to help this conversation, I put together a document, a summary of my background, my career direction. I'm not expecting you to help me get a job. I'm just hoping to get your feedback and ideas as well as any advice or guidance that you might have. So that's your opening statement and a conversation when you slide it across the table or give it to them, email and have a phone conversation. And then, so you can also say, so given the problems that you see that I solve, do you know of any in your network who can use a person like me? Or do you think of any opportunities that would fit someone like me? Or is there somebody do you think I should talk to? Or do you think of companies that might benefit from my background that are dealing with some challenges that I can help with? So these are all kind of, diplomatic ways to get a person to give the information in their head. And again, since we kind of segregate different thoughts and knowledge and ideas in our head into like boxes, you start talking about sales and customer service, I'm going to access that box. And if you start talking about operations or marketing, I'm going to be thinking a different way. So if you don't say these things, it kind of won't unlock that box in the mind and you won't get the information you're looking for. So that's why we want to have one of these and kind of give the specific information that you want. So the structure is simple. You got a right side and a left side. The left side is your value proposition. It talks about who I am, what you do, how you create value, and your competencies. And the right side talks about your targeting. You target positions, industries, contacts, and desired companies. And this is a template, so you can do it any way you want. You might want to call who I am some other type of section. You might want to have a different intro to it, or you might have an objective statement. So there's also different ways you can do it. And I've sent you some samples of work in your email, so you can take a look at that. And today we're going to create the foundations of one for you. And the way we're going to do that is on the left side, we're going to develop, a header. We're going to get a generic title of who you are. Again, it shouldn't be so specific that you're only going to do, I'm a director of operations for media entertainment. That would be very specific, and that's cool if that's the only position you want. But if you want to leave yourself open for other things, you might say that you're an operations and process development professional or specialist or expert or something else like that. So it opens up a wider range of roles. And then it's going to follow by the expertise of what you are. It's just a single statement that, hey, here's my expertise, right? And then you're going to go, what problems you solve, what do you actually bring to a company, how are they going to benefit? And then how you add value is the detail. And again, there's another document that I sent you via email today that talks about networking brief ideas. So you can see how you might want to put some stuff in here that gives the specifics, gets into the details of how you're adding that value. And then you're just a catalog of your key core competencies. Again, for somebody to say, oh, you see you do client management. My brother-in-law does that and works for Hasbro. Would you be interested? Yes, send me a role. And it works out there for a station in the brain so that somebody else can pick up on that and say, oh, I know somebody. And again, you might not know exactly what you want to do next, but when you're putting all this stuff down, people will give you ideas, right? So they'll be like, hey, have you thought about this? No, I haven't. Really cool. So you kind of tap your network for that intrinsic knowledge that it has and lets them kind of give you feedback and so forth. And then suddenly you have a conversation and you're off to the races with a potential career direction that you might not have even considered. So on the right side, this is where you have what you're targeting next. The left side, we have your value proposition and what you can do and how you can do it, and your competencies. In the right side talks to you about what you want next. So we can have an objective statement or not. Resumes of old used to have an objective statement until it was discovered that your hiring managers don't really care what you want. They just care what they want. So you can bring this back because your networking contacts will care. They're people that you're having one-on-one conversations with. So you can tell them exactly what you're looking to do next. So for this person, they said to use my extensive business development and contract negotiation experience to assist brands and celebrity long-lasting, mutually beneficial partnerships. Pretty specific. So now if you tell them, I'm be thinking in the media entertainment space, I'm be thinking about branding, I'm going to be thinking about, Hollywood, that kind of stuff. And so now I'm going to access all the people and ideas in my head that I have about that subject. So the objective kind of points me right to that. And then you have the positions that you would consider taking. Again, it shows me where you want to go in terms of your title level, in terms of where you want to play in an organization, and what you actually want to do as a role. And then you can have your target industries. You can have industries in general and then have the sectors within that, like this person has. So it's like within media entertainment, they're willing to do digital streaming, constant promoting, record labels, or you just have the industry, media entertainment, telecom, consulting, or you just have the sectors. Again, there's no one right way to do this. It's going to be tailored to what you're really most interested in. And if again, you do not have that nuanced direction, you can put a few examples. So you'll see examples have a wide range of industries like that are just unrelated and disassociated. And you'd be like, but again, I wouldn't send this to a hiring manager, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to give it to a person who's going to access different boxes of knowledge in their head. And then you're going to have your desired contacts. Like, what level people do you want to speak to? I want to talk to the CEOs of companies because you're really in an advanced position, or you want an entry level position. So you just want to talk to, managers or the HR personnel. So just give the desired contacts. And again, it's going to tap the database in people's heads for that specific idea or person type, so that they can say, oh yeah, my neighbor works as a celebrity agent and PR manager. Make an introduction. Or have you thought about doing this position? I have a friend who does this. No, I've never heard about that. What is that? And it's an idea or an opportunity for you. And then finally, target companies. Give a range of companies that you'd be interested in working for. Because maybe a person has worked there or knows somebody who works there. There's a high likelihood that you might have a friend or a friend that knows somebody at one of these places. I look at this list and I already know multiple people from multiple companies, from these companies that introductions. So you want to have another way for a person to give you more ideas. So questions about this? Let's stop right there and ask, what do you have so far? You guys good? All right, so what we're going to do today is question. Nope. Okay, we're going to sketch something out for you guys. If you want to take one of the, I'm going to go to my email. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you one specifically. And some of you guys have started on this. And we're going to refine it. And then others of you, we're going to start sketching it out today. 1 second. Preview. I'm just going to find the one that I want to share with you because it has a good range of information. Okay, here it is. So let me share my screen again with you. All right, here it is. All right, so let's take you through one, and then we're gonna start creating the left side. The left side's the more challenging side to create because the right side is gonna be a little bit more straightforward, like what should be going forward, the industries. The left side is going to take all of the stuff that you've used before in terms of your defining your professional expertise, your personal executive summary, all the passion statement, the purpose statement, everything else. We can pull that into here. So up top, I like this format because it's clean. You can use the landscape format too. It's absolutely fine. But you'll see there's different types of formats in the examples. It's got your contact information clearly up top, so you can send it out to people and they can, see more about you or contact you back. It's got the title. So she's an international business management professional. Doesn't say specifically that she does operations for Latin American companies, but you'll see in a few sentences later on that you're going to see that's what she does, right? So she says, I am, which is a great statement to start with, is telling people this is who I am. An expert in international business management specializing in Latin America with experience in project management, contract negotiation, proposal development, implementation, and team building. So again, we go back to the documents that you've already created, defining your professional expertise, your personal executive summary, which is the foundation for all of this stuff, and pull in those 3 or 4 things that you want to be known for right away. If you're going to say, I want to be famous for ... and then you can say that. You can say specialist, you can say professional, you can say expert, whatever you're comfortable with. All right, so the next section, this is what the company is going to get out of that. So I conceive and implement processes across different cultures and languages to maximize efficiencies. For example, I managed a complex operation during the FIFA World Cup and Rio Olympic Games in Brazil. So she gives an example, which is fine. You don't have to. You can just say, I conceive and implement processes across different cultures and languages, maximizing efficiencies for companies and reducing duplicate work and increasing revenues or whatever else like that. So again, what is the company going to get? What do you do that the company is going to get? Then the how I add value is this where you're talking specifics. You're going to get to the 500-foot level and you say, I leverage my international business acumen and multilingual or language speaking abilities to create processes and systems and maximize results, work in multifaceted, multi-level projects to create unity and flow, create and train a diverse talented team, negotiate contracts to maximize revenues, assess and provide solutions to clients' needs and requirements. So now you're getting across the idea of how you're actually adding that value that you just said that you do up here, which he says, I implement processes that create efficiencies. Well, how do you do that? Well, I create multi-level projects in unity and flow and recruit people and negotiate. So it gets into the details. And then she's like, okay, so within those, this is the skills and abilities that I'm using: project management, contract negotiations, international management, team building, leadership, strategic building, client management, compliance, her fluency in different languages, and then her extensive experience that she's had in those areas. And then on the right side, she's got her objective to use my extensive international project management and contract negotiation expertise to assist multinational companies develop and manage their global business preferably in Latin America. So this objective statement is pretty clear. You don't have to be this concise. She knows exactly what she wants to do and where she wants to go. If you don't know that specifically, your objective can be help an organization improve its customer care, and customer experience in call-ins in the call centers or something else like that, which is, it gives you an idea, but it's not so specific. Target position, she's just like, I want something international. Pretty clear where she wants to do. It's not a domestic company. It's something that's a conglomerate or has overseas concerns. You can have that plus other things, international and domestic. You have domestic or you can have, you saw some of the other example had media entertainment and then sectors within that. So again, that was a position, sorry. So the industries are where you want to work and the positions are you want to do within that industry, obviously. And so she's got media entertainment, security, pharmaceuticals, and import export. So those are kind of a disparate set. However, these are all industries that she's interested in, right? So she'd take one of these roles within this industry. Who she wants to talk to? Well, obviously global business managers, corporate security executives, operation executives, talent acquisition execs, and international HR directors. And then she's got a short list of industry or companies that would be on her target list. And if you've been working in your job search toolkit, you start to put these companies in as you come across them. Hey, this would be a cool company to work for. You're getting that from job boards. You're getting this from the top 100 companies to work for, from Forbes or Inc. or something else like that. Start with this list of companies that might be interesting. Alphabetize them. Why? Because I might work at Technicolor, and if it's last on the list, not alphabetized, like, oh, so you really don't want to work for Technicolor. It's like, just put an just alphabetize it. And this way, nobody's gets upset because their company is last or something that they work for. So, all right, looking at this sample, any questions? Pretty clear, yeah? All right. So what we are going.
Quick question.
Yes,
the very first one, you said that was the value proposition. The very first
up here.
Top left section would be the value proposition.
Yes, so that's like that's kind of, this is it's all your value proposition. So all in sum, this is the value proposition, but you're saying first an expert at what you're all about.
Yep.
So you can take your value proposition and rework that into this, absolutely, and just start it with I'm an expert at, or in what's your expertise. Communication, marketing, internal communications, and marketing, messaging across broad organizations, however you want to write that. All right, so we're going to start out by, let's just try a header. Let's go and see if you guys can't develop just in a couple of minutes what your kind of all-encompassing header that says this is, the type of role and position that I want.
We're just doing that top side that Mark had a question about, right?
Correct. We are actually just doing this in bold. That's it.
Okay.
So take your key interests, key experiences, key professional abilities, and let's just put some words together and see if we can't come up with something that kind of encompasses what you do without saying a specific role. Unless you want that, unless you're like, I'm only going to take a director of internal communications role, and then you write that. You want to give it a shot?
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Not yet done yet? Okay. Give it another minute. If you can, tap your executive summary, what do you have done of that? See if you can't kind of just sum that up.
If everyone is waiting on me, I'm done now.
All right, I'm just waiting for a volunteer.
I mean, I could go. Mine is just like, since I don't have much experience, I just put something quick together. I'm an expert in business to business sales, customer service, generating revenue for the select company I work for. Also helping. I couldn't find the right word. It's not really popping up in my head, but just like I put tone down the calls coming in regarding problems, situations regarding the company. There's a word that I want, but I can't think of it at the moment.
Okay.
Not toned down. You always use a good one. You used it today too.
So what's your idea that you're de-escalating some situation?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if you're sure you want to be in the call center and that kind of stuff, I would say that. But if not, I would take that out and just say, I am an expert at, or a professional at, or I specialize in customer interfaces and creating excellent experiences for I'm an expert at or professional specialist at interfacing external interfaces with clients and solving critical path problems and creating an excellent customer experience or something like that. That gives you
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewatch that and then and then put it in because that sounds really good.
And the reason I say that is because if you start talking about call centers and how you're resolving stuff, people are going to say, "Oh, he's a call center guy," right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to cast a wider net because you might have something in marketing. It's like, "Oh yeah, we have this customer engagement manager position." Has nothing to do with call center. It's like working with customers to understand what they want next or something, or customer evangelists or something else like that. So it would enable you to get those type of roles where if you're getting that specific right away, people go, "Oh, he's call center guy." And everybody judges labels, right? And that's what's going to happen.
I fully agree. Yeah.
All right. So what would your title be then? So like
My
what your
title?
bold title, like what? Yeah, like your bold title. That's like, what would you say?
Can I see the example again?
Yeah, customer engagement specialist, customer interface professional, something like that, where it's just like, it's not so specific that it's going to put you in a call center, but it's like, oh, he's external facing and he deals with clients. Something like
Most likely customer engagement specialist, because I think that sounds the best from what you said.
Okay. It could be going consulting role, right? It could be some sort
What was that?
because you might actually get a role at a consulting company,
Yeah.
a junior level consulting company, because they're always dealing with clients, right? So they always have external facing. So you're going to want somebody who can actually manage client interface and so forth. And you might want to say something about presentations and managing conflict or creating, a buy-in or something else like that. That all would be part of working with a client. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, so let's and then think about just what you would say to summarize that, because the header is the first thing the person's going to see. They're like, the immediate impression is this is how I'm going to like kind of put you in a box. Unfortunately, I don't want to say that, but basically that's what people do. They need to wrap their mind around who you are and what you do, so they can place you and then have ideas for you. Because if you just say, I'm a generalist, I'll take any job. Like, well, I heard about a sanitation job. It's like,
Yeah, it has to be that. Yeah, not too broad, I guess.
right, exactly. It's got to be directed, but not specific. There's a little art to that.
No, I fully understood
right.
what you said about the customer service one, because you're kind of, it's too specific. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and for you, especially starting out, is you want to get people's feedback. Say, oh, have you thought about this? Because you might get ideas that you never even came across. There's tens of thousands of career paths, and nobody's yet that I know of invented the supercomputer where they put all experience in and pops out exactly what you should do. The assessment tests and everything else give you ideas and areas, but nobody's gotten the specific thing where, yeah, that's exactly what you're going to be happiest with.
It'd be nice. Not yet. It'd be nice though.
Well, the other problem is that you got organizations, they're all variable. So you might find the position, but where, the organization does it a different way, or they have a good CEO or a bad CEO. So it's going to be a good experience or bad experience based on the people you work with as well.
That's also true. Yeah.
But if you enjoy the work, if you enjoy solving the problem, that's the important part. So what we're looking at is, what problems do you love to solve? What problems would you love to solve every day of your life at this stage in your life that wouldn't get boring, right? And so that probably encompasses some variety, and you're not reading from a script, because you're going to come, people have a problem with the price. They want to send something back. They want to and you're reading from a script. There's not a lot of variability to that, so that would be kind of not perfect for you, because you want more.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Cool. Ross or Mark, you want to go?
Yeah, I can go. I've got a version of this that I'm still working on, but I'm hoping that it is direct enough that it gives a solid idea of who I am and what I've done, but also broad enough that say, okay, well, he's done this, but this could also fit into some other areas. So just with the background, I've got marketing and communications professional as the title. That could be worked some, but then I've got I'm an experienced marketing and communications professional with a diverse background of proven success in multiple industries. I am a collaborative problem solver, adept at identifying solutions and guiding internal and external resources towards ensuring successful implementation and delivery of objectives. I am organized and influential with unwavering integrity, and I am committed to thinking and working strategically, creatively, and tactically.
Okay, so now that would be great for a resume. I say put that in colloquial street terms. Like, if I said that to you, what would you say back to me? You're like, oh, okay. I want you to talk
to general.
It's not too general. It's just like, it's a little stiff, right? I want to talk to somebody like in street terms, like, hey, I help companies, with their internal communications. So the CEO or, they get messages across quickly and efficiently and create buy-in and vision that, can lead the company or something else like that. I'm just saying, it's like, it's put in your own words and take it out of resume speak.
Got it.
Because I want to connect with somebody, because again, these are your network contacts, right? These are the people that you're going to sit down and talk to and say, hey, what ideas do you have?
Right.
You're not trying to convince them. So take out proven ability and all that stuff, because you're like, oh, you have a proven ability. That's nice. Whereas it's like, I want to see if you can't get the person to think about people they know or opportunities or ideas that they may have. And words like that aren't going to help me.
Got it.
Right. So let's do a revision on that when we'll come back. And so we can't just like make it more streetwide, colloquial, like street terms. It's like, okay, this is how I would say this in conversation.
Sure.
Okay. All right, Ross, I see you put in the chat what we were working on last.
What is that? Oh,
it's my,
yeah, we worked on this yesterday, so I thought it kind of lends itself to this value proposition.
It does. So my suggestion is, let's cut this down, right? So you have marketing program management. Perfect, great title. I love it.
So cut this down.
sensor. So I need your background on this, so you can take out the form of social work. I think that's interesting for an
Okay.
behavior, but it's not going to help me know that you're a social, because I'm going to put you in a social worker box if I hear that.
Okay.
It's going to be hard for me. So let's use, I use my passion for customer journey to build brands, engagement, loyalty, as well as optimize customer experiences. That's good, right? Let's take that sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Go to measure.
So I'm going to start with I use my passion.
You can use I use my verse, or I can use my marketing skills learned at Princess and AC Nielsen. You have a lot of good. Oh wow, this guy works at high profile companies. So my initial impression that he needs high, and he actually builds brand engagement, loyalty, and so forth.
Mark, I can't hear you, Mark. He's breaking up.
Sorry. Let's see. Am I back?
Yeah. There you go.
I told you this might happen. So yeah, I went down and hopefully the connection stays stable. So let me go back to the chat. So yeah, Russ, what I was saying is you might want to drop a few names in here.
Okay.
You have some really, really good, street cred with those things. So I bring, let's see, where will we go back there? I use my extensive marketing skills acquired at companies like Princess, AC Nielsen, and some of the other ones that you have to build brand, increase customer engagement, and deepen loyalty for. And then you can talk about the companies you might work for progressive companies in the media and entertainment sector or in the travel and hospitality sector. And
Okay.
again, that's me a direction because you want to be in that direction.
All right.
And then your expertise and stuff, it's going to go down below. So that's what going to be in your how you do it or what you do section. So let's take that and parse that out into that section. But your first one, you got the title, and then just use a sentence or two.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, Mark, you want to take another shot?
Not just yet. I was kind of looking here what Ross had, and following along.
Okay, very good. So let's just keep running through this because I want to give you the structure of this, and then you guys can flesh it out and share it with me for feedback. So the next section is what you do. So going back to an example, I source sponsorship opportunities for artists and celebrities across different categories of media platforms. For example, I executed, and this person used an example as well. You do not have to use an example. But he's dropping a name here, right? So a complex relationship for Nikki Sixx. So if you know who that guy is, you're like, oh wow, you work with Nikki Sixx, that's really cool, and Motley Crue. So it's like, oh, so this guy works in the rocket. Keeps wanting it. I gotta just turn this off. Give me a second. There we go. All right. So let's try this next. So this is what you do and what the benefit will be to a company. So it's a little bit different than the first sense in that this is kind of like what they're going to get. They're going to get somebody who does sponsorship opportunities across categories. And if you want, you can throw an example in. And so like start with, well, what's the company going to get? Just answer that question with you. And Kadre, you know, some with where you're not sure and you're starting out, you could just, I bring passion, enthusiasm, and a great work ethic to projects, and make sure that I'm always customer focused and creating out of the box thinking ideas or something else like that, right? So you could be a little bit more generic.
That's actually what I started. I put highly motivated, passionate. That's what I had. Yeah.
Perfect.
No, I
Yeah.
thought so, because I'm like, I honestly do not know what to put here. So I'm glad.
Well, think about, so the suggestion I would give you, if I was to hire somebody, you know, at a junior level, I would want somebody who's reliable, right? I would want somebody who's hardworking. I would want somebody who thinks outside the box, you know, is going to provide creative solutions. And that's what I'd be looking for. You know, somebody with more experience, like Ross or Mark, it would be like, you know, I need somebody who's going to help me do this and create a new level for this specific thing that I'm working on in this company.
Right. Yeah. No. Quick question though. We have to have a header for this one as well, right?
No, the header for this is just basically what I do.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And you could put a header in there, again, be creative, think outside the box.
If I think of a header, yeah, I will.
Yeah. You can have, you know, that marquee header could be business development, celebrity, influencer. And then the subheaders could be, you know, for him, sponsorship generator, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Or media
Kind
platform.
of like basically like the mind map, the headers and the subheaders and all that.
Yeah. And again, you can use that too, right? So you've got your personal executive summary, you got your defining professional expertise, you got your mind map. Draw from those, right? Don't reinvent the wheel here.
Got it.
But put it in the perspective as this is not a formal interview or phone screener where you're going to say, well, I've done this and this and this, where you're trying to prove yourself. You're just saying, this is what I do and this is what I'm looking for.
Got it.
You can be much more matter of fact in this document, which is again why we will send it to a company, because they're going to be reading this and it's like they're going to take a different perspective on it. You got to show up as a little bit more professional and buttoned up in a one-on-one interface with a company, whereas this is with a person or a networking contact. So start with the value they're going to get and then work it backwards and how you actually enable that.
I'm going to jump off, Mark. I've got a 9:15 appointment for my car.
You got it, Ross. And we'll
Thanks.
work on this more. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Bye.
And whenever one of you guys is ready, feel free to jump in and we can work on it. Or if you have more questions.
Mine's a bit of a mess right now, Mark, but trying to combine internal comms and marketing. So that I take a voice of the customer approach when delivering internal communication campaigns, ensuring alignment and buy-in, and I drive go-to-market marketing campaigns.
Cool. Okay. Great. So let's stay with that. And then in the next section, to keep it rolling is like start talking about what specifically you do to enable that.
Yeah.
And it might actually help you to refine even that higher level statement.
Okay.
You know, you lead high performance teams, you work cross functionally, you're an active listener who's able to synthesize complex ideas and create actionable items, like all those type of things that you're getting specific about how you're actually solving that problem.
Yeah.
You know, another thing you can do there for what I do is like, you just like bullets the problems I solve. It's just like bullet, 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 instead of having a sentence or a paragraph about what you do. Because people could be able to relate to that.
Sure.
I have something. It's far from good, but it's just something I came up with fast. A highly motivated, passionate, reliable, organized, focused individual who will always give his all for his team. A problem solver who will share ideas and decrease the problems at hand.
Okay, good. And so you could just specify that a little bit more with customer facing activities or projects or something else like that, if that's truly where you want to be in marketing and customer care departments. You know, give it.
Oh, I should have. Yeah, I should have put titles in. Yeah, you're right. That's very true. I keep forgetting about that. I'm like, there's something I'm forgetting. I just don't know what it is.
And the reason for that is people are like, that's what they're going to access in that part of your brain, because you make it a little too generic. They're not going to know what to do with you.
Right. Yeah, because putting a couple, you know, positions and titles narrows it down for them a little bit.
Yeah, and you're going to do that on the right side too, as well. So, but
Right,
you know, the
yeah.
context here is where you do it. Is it within operations? Is it within sales? Is it within marketing? Is it within HR, legal, accounting? So you give them some more context, and they go, "Oh yeah, I know somebody," or "Have you thought about that?"
Got it. So, okay.
And then yours, how you do it, how you add value is going to be an extension of that. Well, drill down a layer deeper and say, well, how do you do that? You know, I take the time to listen and get clear on customer requirements, or I help bridge differences of opinion and find common ground. Like, what's your expertise?
So I'm breaking it down in the same paragraph.
No,
or would that be
the next one? You're breaking it down in the next one and how you add value.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And so
okay, makes sense.
Let me show you on the how you add value, because I'll just open that document that I sent you guys. All right, so this is some ideas for how you add value. And the reason I broke out this section is because people weren't sure exactly what they could say. So you're going to see certain of these have double, like training has two. This is just from different people. They said it different ways. So for example, one of them said for training, which is like the fifth or sixth one down, conduct procedural training through well-honed explanation, modeling techniques, establish measurable goals, and teach a variety of subject matter to develop specific skills and abilities. The next person said training was develop training manuals, train employees and volunteers, and establish measurable goals. So different approach to how what they do. The first one is like technical writing. I create value by breaking down complex concepts into creative, comprehensive ideas for a general audience. That gives me a really good idea, even as the layman, about what you do. So even if you like work in the cryptocurrency industry and do something with blockchain, I would be understand what you do in this section. It's two for organization, be able to effectively track and manage vast amounts of data in multiple formats and locations across an array of projects. Oh, okay, I get it. I could get a picture of that in my head. or I develop systems and procedures by gathering information and processing them into comprehensive steps that could be implemented and repeated across the organization. Cool. I know somebody who needs that.
These are really helpful, Mark. And you shared this document, these sample ideas in the email, right? Yeah.
Yes, these are in the email. So there's a whole
Yeah,
bunch of these in here.
perfect.
These
Yeah.
are great.
And
Yeah, these are really helpful.
you can just rework these and put different things in there.
Because you can pick and choose from, like, you can just take out some words and phrases and use it for your own.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can actually create a new title for it.
Yeah.
Trust building. Trust building could be something else. Speak the language of colleagues, clients, and stakeholders. So that could be something interface, colleague interface or team building, or any number of things.
I'm for sure taking multilingual. I'm taking that and running with it.
Wish I could. I'm for sure not taking that one. Well, I think Cosmo was right, Mark. I think with what you've shared and what we've gone over today, I think I've got a good idea of how to go about putting this together. Just want to go back now and spend the time actually looking through the samples that you shared and starting to build this out, and then I can share something with you.
Great.
Yeah, it's for me, it's
And
easier
like,
to go back home and then put all the ideas. I don't have like a time limit to share, so I could just easily research and put like the actual right phrases and paragraphs together.
Perfect. So you guys get this. So let's just finish this up and just say, like, once you get this done, use it. And don't just let it sit and collect dust. Spend an hour a week and invest into your network development, because this is where you will probably most likely, I would say 89% of my clients find their next positions is through networking. Like talking to somebody, having a conversation, it leads to another conversation, leads to another, and there's the job, right? It's like that, as opposed to I'm looking for a job on a job board and I'm sending my resume in and now I'm up against 400 other candidates. There's a lot of backdoor activity that happens this way in the hidden job market uncovering, because a lot of companies don't necessarily publish these jobs. They go through recruiters, or they get internal referrals or something like that. And so you're going to find stuff that you would not find on the job boards, right? And you're going to get new ideas that you hadn't thought about, because people are like, oh, I know somebody who does this position. I've never heard of that before, right? And so you have conversations like, that sounds really cool, and I want to do that. So spend literally 80% of your time on networking. Go on LinkedIn, connect with people, have conversations, send your networking brief out, schedule calls, get on the phone and spend that time, and then, I'm not saying give up on the job boards. This way, who's hiring and what positions and all that other good stuff, but you're much more likely to get your next position through networking. So 2 resources that I suggest, books, Never Eat Alone and How to Be a Power Connector. I might have told you about these before. This book here is specific strategies about what to do in different situations. When you go to a conference, when you go to a trade show, when you're at a dinner, like, you give specifics of what you should do. And this one's like how to build a network, a really powerful network over time. And if you follow the advice of these 2 books, you will never be without a job, right? When I got laid off once, within, I would say 6 or 8 weeks, I was rehired by the power of my network. And it wasn't a job that I would have ever found online, because it was in Switzerland. So it was my network that turned that up, where I discovered it, but it was through having conversations.
Did you work from home, or did you move to Switzerland?
I moved to Switzerland for 4 years.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, that's really cool, because it's a beautiful country.
It is. And again, I would have never found that position. No way. In fact, I interviewed for 2 positions. I got 2 offers overseas, and I went with this other one only because it was a fit for me, but it was all because people gave my resume to other people. And the reason why it was interesting is it was the beginning of broadband and internet. And so the US was ahead. So some of these countries wanted that knowledge, and having had worked with that, they come over here and tell us what you know. Kind of thing. So those are the type of things you can do in networking as well. It's like, if you are advanced to some area and you bring it to some other area, people will be interested. Yeah,
that's probably my angle to work abroad.
Yeah,
That'd be
and
cool, yeah.
for you, like, what are the countries that are doing, international development in the languages that you speak in, right? Or have headquarters overseas or offices overseas that would be interesting, or they're trying to sell over there, or the company over there is trying to sell over here.
Yeah.
Which all sorts of things like that.
Probably Middle East and some parts of Europe, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'm
Okay.
sorry for the outage and the disruptions today. If you have any more questions, let me know, and feel free to just share your drafts with me when you're ready.
Okay.
Stay safe and
Sounds
stay
great.
warm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope they
exactly.
bring the power back on. It was 36 hours last time. It got cold in here. It's colder this week than it was last time.
Sorry to hear that, Mark.
Okay.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a happy New Year, guys. And we'll
Yeah, Happy
see you
New
You
next
Year.
week.
guys as well.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.